is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah! Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun up? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
Talking Heads with Nazi and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Kelly's Home Center, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
And welcome to another edition of Talking Heads. I am your host today, Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah, sitting in for Naughty and MJ on a beautiful, beautiful Thursday. It's an advanced poll Thursday, so we're not going to be talking any politics today. However, I want to throw some things on the table, and then, of course, the lines will be open. See how you can become a talking head today.
Here's how you can become a talking head, brought to you by BTC.
The numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, the Family Violence 242-300-5720. Of course, that's toll free. Text line is powered by BTC. That's 422-4796, 422-4796. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. And you can also catch up with us on Cable Bahamas, channel 969, or BTC Flow, channel 612. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic today because, the rules stipulate that, we're not really supposed to talk about politics. And so I have some other things to discuss. The headlines are filled with politics, etc. So I'm not going to touch the headlines right now. But I do want to touch a reality that is plaguing the country. And for those who may have been following the news or social media yesterday, in Mount Pleasant Village, we had a murder. And I've lived on every corner of this island. I started out in Mount Pleasant, but then after I moved out, I've lived out east. I've lived Coral Harbor, Adelaide, Baintown, Sandlands Village. I've lived in different quarters of this island. And what I experienced yesterday in Mount Pleasant Village, I never experienced anywhere. Not that it wasn't happening, but I personally never experienced it. All right? Sitting down talking to my wife, and we hear what we think is a firecracker. After which we hear what we know is a gun. And so there was a single shot, which we figure out somebody playing with firecrackers, and then we hear a burst of bullets. So immediately, of course, the children are on the park, or they're somewhere outside. So I race up out of the bed to make sure that the children are out of harm's way. Fortunately, they were. When I came outside, they were trying to run home, and I was telling them to just get down. I didn't know how far the shots were. There were a few houses up from us, and I wasn't sure if the car was, going to continue coming in our direction or moving away from us. After the shots rang out, the car sped off away from our direction, and then the screams ensued because one of our neighbors is dead. needless to say, this has been a very traumatic experience. Children are afraid to go on the park and play. We've never had anything like that happen in our neighborhood that I can remember. I'm 49 years old. We've had incidences before, but nothing like what we experienced yesterday. And so, as I thought about what happened, I really want us to appreciate the fact that this reality of what they would call black on black violence, the fact that so many black men are victims of this reality, is something that I don't care what your name is, I don't care what your religion is, I don't care what part of the island you live on or country you live in. We got a serious issue. The fact that guns are obviously pouring into the country or are in the country because this was a high-powered weapon that was being used, right? And we seem to have a problem with our justice system whereby people are being caught. The police seem to be doing their job, and I pray that whoever did what they did yesterday is in police custody now, but who knows? But the reality of the situation is we haven't actually put a noose around somebody's neck in over 20 years. We are afraid, I guess. Are we afraid to deal with killers, to deal with murderers? You can hear the voice of people like the late Rodney Munker, who would go to Junkanoo and be a one-man band just to say killers should be hung. But in broad daylight, I mean, it was evening time, but the sun was up. The sun was up, maybe before 7 o'clock. To be so brazen as to just stake out and then ultimately gun down somebody in front of, I don't know, hundreds of people. Even if it was 100 people. But people poured out into the streets because we all heard it. We all heard what we had not ever heard in our quiet neighborhood. And I'm not saying that because it happens more frequently in other parts of the island, that our situation is more dire or more important than anyone else's situation, because wherever it happens, it shouldn't be happening. Wherever it happens, it shouldn't be happening, right? We just saw a bus shot up a couple of days ago. I don't think anybody was hit. If they were, I'm not aware of it. But this is just brazen disrespect and disregard for human life. I mean, these people are animals. So I don't understand why we trying to treat animals like human beings. These are so-called humanitarian groups who are going to tell us what is humane and what is inhumane when it comes to dealing with these animals. Y'all need to build a prison so y'all could keep them. Because once they have been found guilty in a court of law, and I want to be clear, I understand that there's some things in that realm that need to be fixed as well, because there are people who are wrongly accused as well. So that's another issue, right? But once we're absolutely sure that someone has brutally taken the life of another in a premeditated fashion nonetheless. Not we was fighting and things got heated, and I mean, that's still bad, but at least that's in the heat of the moment, right? But no, you literally sit there and stake out another human being And I don't care what the circumstances surrounding that is, because it doesn't justify it. Because people are so, we talk about this all the time on this, anytime I'm on the radio, the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, where it says that because of iniquity, because of lawlessness, it talks about the fact that people's heart will be waxed cold. This phrase, waxed cold, is the word psycho in Greek. We've become psychotic. We've become so trained to expect this type of behavior that the beat just continues to go on and on. Mr. Herschel Walker, please, sir, we don't make guns in this country. We don't make bullets in this country. Please, sir. We need help with stopping the influx of guns in this country. Ammunition in this country. High-powered nonetheless. We don't make them. I don't know any place near this country that makes those type of weapons other than the United States. We need your help. Because for my little girl to sit at the edge of my bed this morning crying because she's afraid to go in the park. It is downright disturbing, and it's very frustrating knowing that we don't make guns in this country. We know how to shoot them. We know how to load them up. We know how to wait in a car and a kill, get in the position we need them to be in so we could drive up to them, shoot them in the head, and drive off. Mr. Herschel Walker, please. I need a statement from you, please, sir. Because you're worrying about where we getting loans from. And you're doing your job, and I ain't knocking you for that. But man to man, black man to black man, we killing ourselves with American guns and bullets in large part, or they're coming through this country from America or from down south. I stand to be corrected, but I know y'all just make plenty guns in America. And what we experienced yesterday has happened many times, many times in this country and definitely on this island. The violence is one thing, but the tools, the instruments of the violence are being brought in not by the little black man, because we can't even bring 4 ounces of liquid onto a plane, much less a gun, much less bullet. You try to bring your cologne, your favorite cologne, they won't take that from you. So someone bringing in these guns, and the people who have the power to stop it ain't stopping it. Let's go to the phone lines here on Talking Heads. Call you live.
I'm cool.
How you doing?
I'm cool.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I don't need to be getting so upset. You
know. Let me stop you for a second. I watched my neighbor get killed. Mm-hmm. So don't tell me not to be upset. I am flipping upset. Now say what you have to say.
Okay, now see, we need to be upset, right? But see, you and I were having this conversation sometime now about this neo-colonial framework that we find ourselves in. Only certain things can come out of a framework. I see, until we understand where we are. See, okay, like you, I am of African descent.
Sure.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Right? Now, but when I think about black on black crime, I think about next door.
Who's next door?
Next door. America.
Okay.
And I compare black on black here. Mm-hmm. And it's not the same thing.
Explain what you mean.
But we are moving in that direction. Now,
You're saying it's
voice here.
I got you. I hear you.
Yes, sir.
I get you.
It's voice here, but it gets voice here.
Yeah.
And it's only because of the influences that we have allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know folks bringing stuff. Guys bringing guns, and that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But see, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. But that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's something right now until the powers that be decide that they're going to do something. We have our hands tied.
Yeah, because the only way you could bring guns into this country, you got to be bringing it in with boats or putting it in cars. Or you ain't bringing it on no plane. You ain't carrying it on you.
Yeah. But let's drill down. Let's drill down just a little bit deeper here, right?
Sure, let's do it.
Why do we hate ourselves? See, now, this way you get to that neo-colonial framework nonsense.
Uh-huh.
Where only certain things can come out of framework, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you check the history, the African taught the white man how to bathe his skin.
Right. Yeah.
Now, and we, for even though the history has been avoided, for many centuries we ran the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When Columbus first discovered this new world, his navigators were what? African Moors.
That's right.
African navigators.
That's right.
Who, if you read the history, they've been this way before.
That's right.
So Columbus wasn't discovering anything new.
That's right.
Okay. Now.
And that's why glad his statue is down.
Yeah.
It's now a tombstone. Yes.
Let's get down. Let's get down to if we check our own history as black people, we were complicit in how we got here.
Explain that.
Most of the persons who came here as slaves were sold into slavery before they were sold into slavery.
No.
They lost the war in whatever part of Africa they were in, and they were sold into slavery.
So why were they fighting exactly? Why were they having wars?
You know all about the Dahomey, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
But that's why I'm asking you because how hold on, I'm glad you brought the state of Dahomey become Dahomey. How did Benin, where a lot of slaves came through, next to Nigeria, how did those countries even become Nigeria or Benin or Dahomey? You see, you can't start the story at they was having wars.
No.
Somebody came in, the Berlin Conference in the late 1800s. They made sure, hold on, I can let you talk. They made sure that Africa as it was would never be again. They put boundaries in place that created wars to begin with.
Yes.
So it doesn't start with black people selling black people. It doesn't start with Africans selling Africans.
Nigeria come into being?
Nigeria came in, that was...
1962.
Yeah, with the Biafra Wars, and that was a British byproduct.
British protectorate.
Right.
Still active in this day and age.
Right.
Now,
wasn't a country.
Yeah, but we still talk about this neo-colonial framework thing, right?
Right.
Now, even here in this country, our independence was what? Given to us, right?
Yeah, we didn't fight for it.
Okay. Our independence was given to us.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about that very carefully. It was given to us.
Right. But I don't want to run away from the point you was trying to make about saying.
No.
Okay.
I'm going to make that. But then on May the 12th, we are going to have an election, right?
Yeah, but we can't really talk politics today because it's advanced sport. But go ahead.
But after that election happens, those persons that we have elected, what is going to be the first thing? What is going to be the first thing they do?
Probably get a loan.
No. They're going to pledge allegiance to the king.
Oh, you mean in that regard? Yes.
And their successors.
Forevermore. Mm-hmm.
So, and we are back to the neo-colonial framework again.
Yeah.
See, this is a cycle. Now, we can get upset.
Let me tell you why I get upset.
Yeah.
I get upset because when the white American man get killed out west,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there was swift justice.
Yes.
There was, and the ambassador had every right to speak up for one of his citizens. I'm not saying he shouldn't have spoken up, but I'm also saying now, the guns that are actually a part of this, we don't make them.
No,
So
see,
at some point, with regard to the people who are making these guns and making these bullets,
Okay.
you can't just put it in, and you can't just blame the people whose hands is being left in.
I'll just squeeze down the point then, okay?
Sure.
Into a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you're going through life, you're going to run into events.
Mm-hmm.
And how you feel about the events can cause you to be distracted from what you got to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of the times, our feelings are justified, but if we dwell on them too long, they become what? A distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody wants to sell anything to you, if they ain't coming to you with facts, the first thing they press into is how you feel about the situation.
Yeah.
Now, we are justified in our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, there is a responsibility that we as Bahamians have to this nation.
Good. What is that responsibility? Let's end it there.
We have become responsible citizens in every regard.
Okay.
Now,
What does that look
all
like?
this stuff about, a key thing we say, right?
Mm-hmm.
See what you cause me do? Do nothing. See,
you caused me bull for the Miami Dolphins.
hey, what's that, guy? No. Hey, listen here. Stop your nonsense. Anyway.
Talking about getting murdered every year.
Hey. Dolphins and Cowboys in the same flipping bag.
You will lie.
Yeah, okay. But
They closed the whole over Dallas Stadium. Go out there and watch them play no more.
Okay, hey, now, tell the audience that you said that. I didn't say that.
I said that my daddy was the biggest Dallas Cowboy fan. I grew up as a Dallas Cowboy fan. I have a right to say that.
Anyway.
But make your point. I understand what you're saying. And I appreciate what you're saying. We got to become responsible citizens.
Until we actually sidestepped what 1967 and 1968 was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
If we had kept on that path,
Yeah.
if we had kept on that path,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like we gotta reset one more time again.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, man, and I do appreciate the spirit of the call, right? Because we do have to be responsible citizens. But I just want to really be clear. When we start to take everything that happened with regard to slavery and put the responsibility on a few tribes that were complicit in selling or kidnappees, not so much slaves, but people who were kidnapped. I want you to be very clear. There were Jews in Hitler's army. Okay? There were Jews, and this is Time magazine, not me. There were Jews in Hitler's army who was helping Hitler find other Jews to put them in the oven. You don't ever hear them talk about them when they talk about the Holocaust. These tribes that were complicit in selling any slaves, did they receive any reparations in 1834 when the other slave masters were receiving reparations that wasn't completely paid off until 2015? They received reparations. Did any of those African tribes that you say and everybody else says were complicit in selling Africans, did they receive any reparations? No, they didn't. So how then are you going to put them on the same level as the people who actually receive the reparations, controls the hegemony, controls the actual economy, the colonialization? We're not speaking the languages of the tribes that actually sold victims of war into what they didn't even know was chattel slavery. If you look at the country of Benin, it doesn't even look like a country. It looks like one big port, siphon off the resources of Africa. Okay? Modern Nigeria is formed through the amalgamation of 1914, a colonial process. Africans didn't do that. That was a colonial process where the British government merged separate territories into a single political entity. Okay? The Berlin Conference, and we come into the callers right now, right, is something that we have to be aware of because this conference, Africans wasn't at this conference. We just had to suffer the consequences of this conference, the same way we suffer the consequences of guns coming into our country. You understand? 1884 to 1885, also known as the Congo Conference, was a meeting of 14 European powers. 14 European powers, not Africans, 14 European powers and the United States that established the legal framework for the scramble for Africa. This is how they started even having wars. Not that we didn't have skirmishes before, but wars came out of this. It was the formal event where European nations negotiated their claims to African territory to avoid going to war with one another. Didn't care two hoots about me and you. You understand? Let's go to the text line and then we'll go to the phone line. Hello, almost 5 years and went and transferred and my voter's card is still not transferred. I believe they gave a Haitian my name with one of those false voters. Wow, I pray you get sorted out. This texter says, this is not America's problem. Texter, I never said this was America's problem. I asked in America for help. I really need you to listen. It says, we found out last year that the police officer formerly in charge of the airport security was negotiating deals with Colombian cocaine dealers, and the former RBDF chief petty officer was given drug enforcement operation coordinates to Colombian cocaine smugglers. Fine. Yes, and they're being charged for it. But the fact that the people who bring in the guns ain't being charged for bringing in guns is a more germane point to this conversation. You understand? So I don't want y'all to hear what you want to hear. I never said it was America's problem. I asked in America for help because we need the help. Staxter says these house slaves that inherited this crown government in exchange for our liberation, they sold us out. And now we are in a doomed future for us, organic Bahamians. Our own has their knees on our necks. All right. Organic Bahamian. You realize the people who became Bahamians? Anyway, we're going to run to the break here on Talking Heads. Phone lines are lit. Texts are coming through. My name is Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. East III, also known as Calhoun Anku Sarah, sitting in for Naughty and MJ here on Talking Heads. Keep it locked.
The feeling that you was being had, don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh, put my kicks up on their desk, unaffected by their threats. Then get busy on their see that's how that shit.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch. Take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Brioche bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC cake chicken with it. Hey. Tastes sweet, side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce. Pepper jack cheese, going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for the buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by...
And we're back here on Talking Heads with your host, Dr. Cleveland W. Eneas III, also known as Calhoun Anku Sarah, sitting in for Naughty and MJ on a Thursday. And I'm happy to be here with you. Murder, guns, bullets. What are we doing to fix it? Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hey, Uncle.
Yeah, 50. Hey, I'm in, Papa.
And good day to your listeners.
Yeah, man.
I'm a good producer. Before I send my condolences, I want to say I pray someone who's listening, if our ambassador, different ambassador from America is not listening, they could get the message. And we really need your help, sir.
Yes, sir. We need
All
it.
I'm saying, I agree with what you're saying about the bad deal with the hospital.
Yeah.
But I know I agree with it. And I think, like Dr. Sanse, it's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Dr. Sanse said the deal is dumb. He said the idea is dumb. I agree with Herschel Walker that it's a bad deal also.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to also say condolence to the family. You know, on May 3rd, 1989, I could have been 38 years on the 3rd of May coming up, dead. I thank God to still be alive, but I lost my sight.
Wow.
I was 18 years old then, so I felt the pain. And 27 days after that, a present cabinet minister, you know I ain't dumb enough to call nobody. I'll never upset you, Uncle. His brother, 14 years. He's out now, walking around free. I thank God I blind in a way, because I might have been just coming out of jail. I'm the oldest one, so I feel just like how you feel for your daughter and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I with you.
I feel that for my sister.
Yeah.
Jessica Forbes, Jessica Janet Forbes. So memories to her. So, like I say, you know, it's sad. It's sad what happening, man, and we just killing up one another. I think our judicial system or job, we really got to get stiffened. Yeah, America could do more to help us, and the guns coming from them, man, but we got to stop this crackhead games we be playing, man. This is cause vigilante justice. That's why so much people just going back, because it takes the case them go on so long. Sometimes the people, I think if you kill somebody, Dre, I could understand if that was an act or something, or, you know, you're fighting it to get out of hand. When you're planning, you're planning big punk, using gun, machine gun, like, you know, what you use in the army and stuff. Killing people, man. Once ago, we used to use it and fist it out or just row it out, or even rocks and bottle on that side. We used to do that too. These punks walking around and stuff like that, just taking people's life like they could give life with, and then we can talk about we can send them to jail. They deserve to get the same thing by the law.
That's right.
Not by us vigilante, by the law.
That's right.
You take a life, you should get your life taken. I have a question, and I will make you mad, right?
Go ahead.
I listened a couple of weeks ago, right? They say someone was killed, right? A community out west. Now, it sounds like this community is close to that place what we call Life Wiki. I could be wrong. Is it correct?
I am not sure if someone was killed in there.
No, I'm asking you. Not that
Yeah, Mount Pleasant is next
where
to.
you live in Mount Pleasant.
Right next
that's
to Life
close
Wiki.
to Life Wiki.
Right next to.
Okay, listen to my point. You know what I don't like? I can understand if the family members don't know yet. You can't call the name. But it was reported on the news yesterday. It sound like they saying the wife saw her husband laying on the ground dead. So that meaning the wife know. Us, the public, really concerned, not just being nosy. I mean, you might say, well, that ain't important to know what the man name, who dead or whatsoever, but I wonder why they do them kind of things. Why they take so long to say, well, you know, that's Mr. Robertson or Mr. Ferguson or stuff like that. And Uncle, like I say, I ain't trying to make no one mad or piss nobody off. Have my condolences to the family, the whole community, right? the news also reported, I don't know if you can say it or you don't want to touch that, they said this victim, a gun was found on the side, and that didn't mean the gun illegal. That could have been a license-issued gun, right? But they say they find a handgun there, too, on the side of the victim. I thank God if every one of us could be able to defend ourselves and be able to deal with these punks when they think they could come and take our life. Now, that other victim, which you ain't sure about what happened over the last couple of weeks ago, they said that person had an ankle bracelet on. I ain't looking for you to call your neighbor name or whatsoever. So whatsoever. I think the whole thing should be talked about. Yeah, we feel the pain and it's enough is enough. But if the news said the person had a handgun there too, we just want them to be fair.
Yeah.
These people innocent until proven guilty. Who I mean, the killers, not the killers. I talk about. We don't know. We don't know if that was an illegal gun. We don't know if that's a businessman. They sound like they say but 49 or 50, something like that, right? So my question is, why we know the name of the people? Yeah, why we gotta wait so long? I can't hang up and listen.
Well, for me, I always in any situation like this, I know the family knows because they were there or they were, they came there not too long afterwards. But for me, it as much as it's important to discuss the specific issue, there's a wider issue going on. And so I'm not trying to make it just a specific issue. I'm not calling any names. I'm just saying that young black men, old black men, are being killed in this way. And in many instances, with guns. And we don't make guns. And we don't make bullets, not in this country. You understand? When the prime minister could go to the UN and say to the developed countries that their pollution is causing the global warming that is affecting us, they are complicit. The same way they are complicit in creating global warming, and their carbon footprint is much greater than ours, and they then need to assist us with dealing with the ramifications of global warming. They need to also deal with the ramifications of all of these guns and bullets that are in our streets, in our homes, in cars, on people. They are playing a part in the street violence. So we need help. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Uncle.
How you doing, Cleaver?
And condolences.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Uncle, I like to be clear when I speak, but if successive government, if they were willing to address this vexing problem, they would have included me as part of the equation, but, they don't want nothing to do with me. But, because I don't claim to have all the answers, but I think I've been spot on in many cases. This is a deliberate extermination of a particular race that we're dealing with here.
I agree.
This is a genocide.
Yeah.
The only persons who are killing up one another are persons who look like me and you. So we don't have a crime problem. How could you say we have a crime problem when the whites are not killing up the whites? Or even whites killing up the black? I mean, I hear you station with the gentleman when you went back into history, right? But these leaders don't know what you're talking about.
And that's the problem.
So, they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And not only that, Anku, our problem is an easy fix. We don't have no mountains. We don't have no terrains. We're a flat island, 400,000 people, and we can't bring crime and make the Bahamas one of the safest places on planet Earth.
Yeah.
But these visionless jokers who we elect as politicians and then end up becoming in leadership, they don't know what the hell they're doing. And I said about 20 years ago on a show, I said that crime has become a big part of our economy. Some people try to crucify me for making this statement, but it's an honest and a true statement. Because when you look at this situation here, the doctors, the judges, the lawyers, all of these people, they need to be paid, right? And just like in the days of slavery, it isn't like they don't know what to do, But you remember when they were about to free the slave, they said, who are we going to replace these slaves with?
Right.
Same thing with crime. When we solve crime, how are we going to pay these, where are we going to find jobs for these judges, these lawyers, and the likes, right? So what do we do? what do we do? You have kids who come from broken home, who don't have any guidance, who have come from fatherless situations, and poorly socialized.
Yeah.
These are easy problems. These are easy problems to address.
So why aren't we handling it? Why aren't we doing something about it?
Because they want this thing to continue to perpetuate. Like I said, they are trying to create. They don't want to address the status quo. For example, when you
Wow, we lost your sound there, Cleaver.
Oh, sorry, you can hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Okay, we signed a treaty, the Geneva Convention, which speaks to the rights of children.
Right.
One of the articles in that convention, very important treaty, it states that the states must respect the rights and responsibility of parents to provide guidance which is appropriate to these children's evolving capacity. To deal with these many vices, the guns, etc. We're going to go astray, but if you don't have that guidance, Anko, if you don't have that spiritual inclination to know, to fear God, nothing that is evil to you will become off limit. Churches don't deal with Sunday school.
Wow.
I mean, my mother, who is 94 now, right? Anko, when I turned 13, that was the most frightening time of my life. I don't know whether there's any biblical scripture to what she taught us, but she stated that, look, when you were 12, if you were to die, you go into heaven. She said that when you turn 13, you're responsible for your own sin, and when you die, if you were to die, you end up going to hell. When I turned 13, Anku, I mean, I used to get involved in so much, you could have gotten in so much fights, right? But I saw people jerk people, they chop people, they do these type of things, right? But that fear, I wasn't afraid of the individual,
Right.
But that fear that she put in me that if you were to die, you go to hell, that caused me to walk away from many cases.
Yeah.
They look at you as a coward, but you're not a coward. I could take on big government. So if I'm not afraid of big government, who could come down on me like a ton of bricks? You think I'm afraid of one joker on the street?
Yeah.
But you have to look at this thing from a spiritual perspective.
Yeah.
Someone come to you and slap you. You know now that, look, that's a spiritual warfare that you're dealing with here. And you can easily fall into a trap. But like Popper stated, right, we need outside intervention to rein these politicians in line, man.
Yeah.
Programs and policies to address these things. This can be fixed so easily. You see, you have countries, even throughout the United States too. You have certain states who are closing down jails,
Yes, that's
They're
true.
closing down jails. What is our government doing? Didn't they propose to build a $50 or $60 million jail? That's on the table. We are building jails in a small country when other countries are closing them down because they don't have sufficient prisoners to contain, to incarcerate.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the proposals that are being put out now to address crime, they're not addressing the root causes of these things. Anku, go into PMH for me. You go into PMH in that newborn section. You tell me if you see any murderer, any rapist, any shooters, any massacre, any police. So you see innocent babies.
Yeah.
When you place these kids in this environment where there is no guidance, chances are they're going to end up in a life of crime.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Anku, these homes, I mean, let me show you something. You are part of the intelligentsia community. I'm not. But
what do you mean you're not?
On education, 2005, which was led by J. Barry Farrington. You know what that task force on education stated when they're talking about crime?
What they say?
They said that while the single mother household may have been the bedrock of our society in the 40s and 50s, this was in 2005, they stated that today, that situation posed a significant risk. But successive leaders, they looked at the task, so they probably threw it underneath the table somewhere gathering dust, but they still haven't addressed the issue in these single fathers' home, in these single mothers' home. The fathers, who is the provider and the protector, and they're removed from the family structure.
Wow. And we definitely I gotta get to some other callers before we get to the break, Cleaver. Thank you so much for calling. Yeah, we can look at that after the break. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. 13 is the age of puberty. And your mother, your grandmother, whoever that was finding a way to make sure that you understood that, hey, you now responsible. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, you're live. Caller going once? All right, let's get to the next caller. Caller, you're live.
Murder, guns, bullets, what we're going to do to fix it, Uncle?
My Lord.
Well, when you look at this global issue, in America, between $15 and $16 million made from the sale of arms annually. And those are the very same people who finance the political parties, both Democrats and the Republicans. Right? This is really an uphill battle, this condition we find ourselves in,
Yeah.
when it comes to guns. In Britain, you're not allowed to carry any, but they still kill up one another.
Then they stab each other up, yeah.
So you know what it really is, because it comes down to the individual and how conditioned the individual is to resolve these conflicts. You know what I mean? So I am wondering, you think any of those gun manufacturers are donating to other parties?
Well, we won't know without some type of legislation that allows for us to, query where the monies are coming from.
When you think about the reason why they are definitely not going to allow us to find out, you may be surprised to know where they're getting their monies from, which may be perpetuating, causing the situation to continue. So I think as a society, until we could come together and demand the knowledge as to how these politicians are receiving their money and from whom, then we'll have a clear picture as to why this degrading society is just continually falling.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to make that one thought.
Thank
you
you.
have to go to break. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Let's try to get another call in before we go to the break. Caller, you're live.
Hi, good day. How you doing?
Thanks for calling, man.
All right.
Doing well.
I look at it over the years, and I see it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership.
Yeah.
Because each government has failed the Bahamian people.
Yeah.
Each government.
Yeah.
From immigration to crime. Because if you look at it, each government could stop crime or immigration. Same way how Trump doing it in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's on leadership and civil servants facilitating corruption in this country. The people are the civil servants, and we are corrupted. We are corrupted.
Yeah.
We are corrupted so much, tell it ain't funny.
Oh, boy.
And it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
We sell out ourselves just for gain.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
It is.
And that's sad.
It is.
That's sad. And we can pay it then.
I'll be paying for it now. I appreciate the call, man. Before we go to the break, I just want to touch on some recent notable cases, 2025 to 2026, all right, of several high-profile cases involving Americans found with firearms and ammunition in the Bahamas, all right? This has underscored the country's strict, quote-unquote, zero-tolerance policy regarding unlicensed weapons. January 12th of this year, 2026, a 37-year-old American male was arrested at Lynden Pinland International Airport in Nassau around 11:30 a.m. He was intercepted by airline agents while attempting to check in a weapon case containing a firearm. All right, so that could have been a misunderstanding, right? Or that was one gun. But here's this. Ammunition fine, February 11th, 2026. An American tourist found with 50 rounds of .22 ammunition was fined $2,500. The tourist avoided a 1-year prison sentence by paying the fine immediately. In December of 2025, a female American tourist reportedly suffering from an early stage dementia was arrested after a gun was found in her bag during a cruise stop. Despite claims she forgot the weapon was there, she spent 5 days at Fox Hill Prison before her family paid a $8,000 fine. A Bimini yacht raid, October 2025. James Finke, a 62-year-old American businessman and CEO, was caught with a cachet. And this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. This is what I'm asking Mr. Herschel Walker to help us with, right? 14 guns and over 1,000 rounds of ammunition on his 126-foot yacht in Bimini. He avoided a mandatory 6-year prison term by paying a record $1.4 million fine as a part of a plea deal. So if you ain't got that kind of money, you going to jail. 14 guns, 1,000 rounds of ammunition. We don't make guns here, right? Ammunitions at Grand Bahama Airport, November 14th, 2025. A 53-year-old American man was arrested at the airport in Grand Bahama after security discovered a magazine containing ammunition in his luggage, right? And we can go on and on and on, right? When we come back from the break, I want to talk about how this affects the GDP. We'll go back to the phone lines and the text lines, right? But this affects the GDP in a negative way. And as Cleaver was saying, this is a genocide, right? So we'll talk about all of that after the break. This is Talking Heads. No, I am not Naughty. No, I am not MJ. I am Kahunanku Sarah. Keep it locked here on Guardian 96.9. Fresh news, smart talk all day. Back after this.
Put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through their teeth. Hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh. Put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats. Then get busy on they. See, that's how that shit down made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay.
Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then find place. Refined style with elegant taste, then fine threads is your place, is your place.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch, take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Brioche bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC get chicky with it, hey. Taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce, pepper jack cheese going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
And we're back here on Talking Heads on 96.9 Guardian Radio, fresh news, smart talk all day. The numbers to call 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. The Family of Violence 242-300-5720. That's toll free. The text line is 422-4796. Of course, standard text rates do apply. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com, or you can check us out on Cable Bahamas 969 or BTC Flow channel 612. Before we go back to the lines and the line and the phone line, I just wanted to share something. How much the Bahamas, the crime economy, represents a multi-$100 million impact on the national gross domestic product. Now, this is going in the opposite direction of what one of the callers was saying, but I thought this was important to share. Recent Inter-American Developmental Bank, the IDB studies, and national budget reports indicate that crime costs the country significantly of direct economic loss, security spending, and lost productivity. Total economic impact or GDP loss. The direct cost of homicides. Homicides alone cost the Bahamas approximately $100 million annually, representing about 0.8% of the country's GDP. $100 million annually. The aggregate economic loss. Broader estimates from the IDB have previously placed the total economic cost of crime and violence as high as $434 million annually, or nearly 5% of the GDP. Per capita cost, the cost of crime to residents is estimated at over $1,100 per person annually. That's how much we pay, okay? Public and private security spending, government national security budget, 2025-2026. Private security, the national budget allocated historic highs for national security, including major upgrades for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and police force. I don't see any numbers there. But private security costs, approximately 47% of total crime costs in the region stem from private security expenses, with over 75% of Bahamian companies spending on private guards, technology, and equipment. So that's what the caller was talking about previously. If we get rid of crime, we won't need these private security companies, right? The overall decrease, as of 2026, major crimes decreased by 15% in 2025 compared to 2024, and murders dropped 27%. Armed robberies declined by nearly half in 2025. While there are new risks, all right, while violent crime has declined, the Global Organized Crime Index notes a rise in cyber-dependent crimes and financial fraud targeting the banking sector. So crime is everywhere, right? I wanted to share that because it's affecting us in ways that we're not even thinking about, right? Cleaver said we are in the middle of a genocide, which I would agree. A lot of people may think that's crazy until you read it in the Bible, right? There was a decree of Pharaoh in Exodus chapter 1 where he talked about the threatened by the growing population of the Israelite midwives to kill the newborns. When they refused, he commanded his people to throw every Hebrew baby boy into the Nile River. Moses survived this decree when his mother hid him in a basket. There's the King Herod incident where they were killing children 2 years and under, baby boys, right? There's the siege of Samaria in 2 Kings chapter 6, 26 to 29. And we can go on and on and on. When we read it biblically, we could see it. But Cleveland made a point that nothing's being done in any real way because this is serving an agenda, and I'll say it, of racism, white supremacy. All right? And so let's look at the text line. Callers, you can call back in. I just wanted to share that before the calls start rolling in. Brother Aeneas, the citizens of the Bahamas are seeking and exploring the wrong and dangerous paths for survival. So we now have black-on-black crime under outside influence and filthy lucre, right? Hence population control, right? How can America help us today? There must be a great change to save lives today. We just looked at the fact that Americans have been caught with guns, and it would be good because this one gentleman who they caught with a cache of 14 guns and however many rounds of ammunition, he was on a boat. He was on a yacht, right? I think we need to pay more attention to these yachts, right? We got all these marinas, and I'm thinking that's probably something that we need to put more serious attention on. And these yachts can be checked before they leave America. That's just me throwing out ideas, right? Because at the end of the day, we ducking bullets. All right. Let's go back to the text line here on Talking Heads. Let's see. This same text says, Brother Aeneas, a mature Bahamian, I am very concerned about these guns. We need America to help ASAP to save the future. And we're not making guns. Let's see what this text says. Good afternoon, Uncle. In Bahamas, Uncle, my brother, I am past the mindset that the Bahamas did not fight for independence. Yes, we voted for majority rule, but we fought with a passion for both majority rule and independence. All right. So if we did not fight for these things, then tell me now, what was all the praying, protesting, and all the other struggling and sleepless nights? Well, Uncle, my brother, I ain't going to let nobody fool me into believing that the Bahamas had an easy road in achieving such things. You're right, Dexter. You're right. I think what people mistakenly do is juxtapose what we had to go through with, let's say, the American Revolution, right? While it wasn't that, you're right, we did have to struggle, right? We have a whole street called Meeting Street where we had to meet, we had to plan, we had to strategize, right? Recently, we had the anniversary of the throwing out of the mace, Samilo Butler, right? Throwing the mace out. People were bashed in their heads because they didn't want to come off of Bay Street, right? Burma Road riots in the 1940s. 1958, you have the taxis that are striking, it's the taxi union, right? We had to fight, but we somehow we got comfortable. We rested on our laurels, and we just wanted to integrate into pop culture, into pop Western culture. And of course, with that comes guns. With that comes drugs. With that comes pornography. With that comes attitudinal changes, right? You living in a house with children that you don't even know because they're always head buried in some device, or even if you're controlling it at home, influenced by some other child who isn't being regulated, right? And so I with you there, Texter. This texter says, we need to raise capital punishment. That's right. Condolences to the community and a family. It is so sad that, let me just open up the text properly. It is so sad. This is why I try to stay off of social media, because it's so sad. Every time I see or hear about somebody being killed, rape, etc., I be tearing up. Whatever happened to the cat o' nine tails? That's right. The electric chair, hanging, something, right? They need to bring them back, man, because I think that jail is too good for these murderers and rapists, etc. I hope that the family gets justice, because this is sad. I right there with your texter. Call you live here on Talking Heads.
Hey, gracious usual, Uncle, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Right, man, I keep on telling people, right, there's no magical fix to this here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple of things I want to add on. Suppose I tell you, right, Brave Davis right now curve crime by 85%, what would you say? You probably say, how is that possible?
Yeah,
right?
I would ask you, how is that possible, right?
Okay, but what if I also ask you, right, what are you willing to give up for him to curve that?
Well,
then you start thinking then, right?
Of course.
85%.
Of course.
What if I tell you he had a island-wide curfew?
We had that. That was called a pandemic. We did that.
All right, then. And the crime went down, right?
Yeah, because the crime went up in the house, though.
Domestic violence.
Yeah.
Another thing, right? The devices, right? We place these devices in these children on from day one, before they could talk, right? We don't parent these kids, you know. The internet parent these kids. We give them a tablet to pacify the child, because we don't have time basically to stop the child from crying. Now the internet raising the child. The child looking at all type of stupidness. The internet there for good, you know. But for some strange reason, mankind always gravitate towards the negative things, towards the internet.
Yeah.
So they learn things through the internet. I mean, that's just human nature. Just like curse words. You ever realize that a child would more or less say a curse word before they say mommy or daddy?
You think so?
I'm telling you.
I haven't experienced that, but
you used to go to school.
Yeah, I have children, so my children wasn't busting F-bombs and stuff before they were saying mommy and daddy. But I understand if they're around it, then yeah, they probably,
right.
yeah.
And the second thing, the third thing we made a note on the capital punishment, right? If I tell you right now, Mr. Brave Davis announced right now, okay, I'm going to hang the next person tomorrow. You know what's going to happen?
What?
The human rights activists will come down on this man and crucify him to the cross.
Yeah, but that's the sad part for me, because if they really care about this country, why they ain't coming now? While people's fathers, while people's sons, while people's uncles and cousins and aunties and mothers even, and sisters are being shot. Where are the human rights people? See, if you ain't making noise now, then shut your mouth when people start getting hanged. That's my 2 cents on that.
Uncle, guess what? Before I go, right? You realize be cautious. This is a generational thing.
Go ahead, explain it.
Bad, good, and good, bad. Remember back in the day, right? What we say? Boy, you're bad. Oh, yeah, bad. What that mean?
That's what caused this?
Remember that?
Yeah.
And now, after we
Michael Jackson said, no matter if you're black or white, then he had a bad album.
all right,
Who's bad?
We embedded in the kid.
Mhm.
What we tell the cat, Chad? You tell your son, right? Don't let no one hit you. If someone hit you, you hit them back.
Yeah.
So what happened is we ingrained that over the years.
But
we have created monsters.
So
That's something we create Frankenstein, you know. You think that just
I'm not
happened by
saying
itself?
I'm not saying we don't have responsibility in all of this. Please don't miss what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm saying you could have all those things in play, and if the guns are not available, you can just have people fighting. You
Oh,
ain't-
no,
they,
because-
they ain't
because
necessarily
they
kill each other.
establish it.
They ain't necessarily kill each other. And when we was growing up, it wasn't as many guns. You had people using more machetes and bottle and stuff like that, and more people survived. I'm not saying is a good thing in any event, but when people have access to guns, first of all, most of them can't fight like how people could fight back in the day. They could hold a gun and shoot people, but if they really had to deal with the person that they came to deal with, many of them couldn't deal with it. That's just a fact.
Okay. But Uncle, before I go, right, because I know you have a lot of callers, right?
Yeah.
I want to make a note on that, right there, what
Yeah.
you said, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
You know the problem is with that?
What?
Two things. One, we have a low comprehension skill in the Bahamas. People can't understand the word sorry, you know. You
Wow.
realize that?
Wow.
You know how much people get in the fight because they can't understand someone told them sorry?
So I won't be clear. I won't be clear.
Everything.
You mean it's hard for them to say sorry or to hear sorry?
They ain't saying it.
Mm.
And the person who said it, the receiver ain't hearing it.
Yeah. Wow.
And plus we have emotional, everything in the Bahamas now is emotional. I refuse to go in the barbershop and run a political conversation or a religion conversation in a barbershop. It never turns out good.
Wow.
Because it's always the emotional response we have to the situation, which always turns out bad.
Right. Right.
All right, though, Chief.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, a big part of what is going on is we've said it before. Or I've said it before on any show that I go on. We are in a war with ignorance. And so when it comes to this issue of so-called black-on-black crime, Dr. Amos Wilson, all right, he has a thesis. Dr. Amos Wilson is a brilliant man who as a psychiatrist, he worked assiduously on this particular issue, right? His core thesis on black violence, detailed in his 1990 book, Black on Black Violence, the psychodynamics of black self-annihilation in service of white domination. Let me say that again. Black on black violence, the psychodynamics of self-annihilation in service of white domination, right? He posits that such violence is a politically and economically engineered phenomena. That's what Cleaver was saying. Rather than an inherent trait. Don't just say we violent. He argues that this violence serves the global system of white supremacy by directing internal aggression away from the sources of oppression. You don't get mad at the systems that are harming you. You don't get mad at the fact that you have been told that you were brought into a church, or that you were reading a Bible, or that a pastor is shepherding you, when these are the same people who enslaved you in the first place. So why are you calling it church? Why are you calling it? It's because you have been systematically engineered to see your oppressor as your savior. You understand? Let's go back to the phone lines here on Talking Heads. Call you live.
How you doing?
Great, man. Thanks for calling.
All right, man. Listen, you know the situation is, Uncle. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about the other people who are in leadership roles, who never teach the people of color their history. If you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. If you teach that how we were kings and queens inside the motherland, and how this and how the slavery and all of this actually trying to demoralize one another isn't of God.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the problem is in this country, we lack ownership.
Mm.
I guarantee you, if you check the statistics, and the over 200,000 people who they say are part of the Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say put it to 160, 170,000 people in the Wake Forest continuously.
Mm-hmm.
I would gather to say a little over 100,000 people will be considered the waking poor.
Mm.
Now let me break down the waking poor underneath.
Mm-hmm.
The waking poor is these people waking 45 to 60 hours a week and cannot pay their basic bills.
Mm.
Cannot find nutritious food because it's so expensive to put on their table for the children.
Right.
And the all of this is emotional. It's an emotional situation that they're going through.
Yeah.
And we don't own our rock. You know that more than 70% of the people under the age of 30 cannot qualify for a
Wow.
You also know that they can't get themselves a piece of the rock. There's no ownership.
Yeah.
So there's no ownership. Your life, as far as they're concerned, has no value. They don't have nothing to fight for. And say, well, hold on to a job. Don't do no foolishness and go to jail because I got this mortgage to deal with. I got insurance to go up and all these things. I got something. I got ownership. I have something to keep me in line. There's no country. And the gap between haves and have-nots is widening.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Uncle, you know, the situation is that no one, globalization is at our doorstep. And no one is preparing the behemoth for globalization. They drowning.
Well, we going extinct. Our women ain't having no children. And you got a bunch of migrants, you know, coming into the country and from different quarters, whether they're Chinese or Haitian or American or Greek, right? And
Uncle, you hit the nail right on the head. We fifth-class citizens.
Yeah.
We ain't even checking our take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fifth-class citizens.
Yeah.
In the country, a country that we grew up in. We are fifth-class citizens as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
The underground society is richer than the natural society.
Yeah. We went from Bahamianization. Eddie Hanna talked about Bahamianization. We went from Bahamianization to political partyization. And so that's why we're suffering the way we're suffering right now.
This country right here is void of crucial leadership. We have analog leaders trying to lead in the digital world.
Because they know
they don't want to take these antiquated laws of our book, which was there to govern a colony, not to build a nation.
Right. Very good point. Very good point. I appreciate you calling, man. You're making some great points. The thing about it is that there's more accountability in a digitized world, right? When you can keep things analog, then, you know, things can fall through the cracks, right? And it makes it easier for people to rule and pretend like they don't know what's going on. This actually says, look at the UK. Many deaths by knives. Even with the guns banned, gun violence is still on the rise there. Rocks and sticks kill too. They're just more personal. Well, I hear you, right? I'm going to say this, though, before I go back to Amos Wilson's work. Statistically, violence in the United States, both from guns and knives, is significantly higher than knife violence in the United States. In the United Kingdom. Statistically, violence in the United States, both from guns and knives, is significantly higher than knife violence in the United Kingdom. While knife crime is a major public concern in the UK, the US actually has a higher per capita rate of knife-related homicides than the UK. All right? Key differences in the violence patterns. The total number of murders in the UK, all methods combined, is typically lower than the number of people killed by knives alone in the US. right? In the UK, knives are the most common weapon used in homicides, accounting for roughly 46% of cases. In contrast, guns are used in approximately 79% of U.S. homicides, right? So the pop culture, the movies, you go on Netflix and see what is the number one movie. It's normally a shoot 'em up movie, right? We all like to watch them. But what does that do to us, right? It does something to us. It numbs us, right? And this is a part of the systemic engineering that Dr. Amos Wilson talks about. Let's go back to the phone lines here and talking there. It's Caller Live.
Hey, Uncle, how you doing?
I'm great, man. Thanks for calling.
I got a question. What if it was a white person that did the shooting last night?
What if it was a white person that did what?
The shooting that their neighbor. My condolences. Sorry to hear that too. But
Yeah, I understand. If it doesn't really matter because my concern is the guns. My concern is that you can get access to guns here, right? And then I listed off several Americans that were found with guns. Oh, you got to call back, I guess, right? I listed off several Americans that were found with guns, but they paid a fine and didn't go to jail. So we don't make guns here. We don't make bullets here. But high-powered guns are on our streets. You understand? And so I wish you could call back to kind of further make your point. You know, if it was a white person that literally shot the person yesterday, my point would still be the same. You know, in fact, my point partly is that the white person did help shoot him yesterday because there's no gun named after a black man. Find me one. There's no guns named after any black man. I challenge you. Go and look it up. Find me one gun named after a black man. And I'll tell you what you need to know about what we're talking about. All right? Dr. Aeneas, and my condolences to your Mount Pleasant community and the people who took the law into their own hands. We are in a sad state in this country where today we are looking for all the answers. Our children can no longer identify their fathers due to the dumb elimination of the black men in our society. Thank you very much, Texter. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hello, brother, Uncle.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for calling.
Everything is beautiful, my brother. Just wanted to chime in on our talk today.
Sure.
We need to police our borders.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
I grew up in Mount Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
So did you, right up the road from York.
Yes.
And that level of violence, that community is not accustomed to.
Not at all. Not at all.
I also spent time living in Coral Harbor.
Yeah.
We need to monitor and police Marine Port.
Ah, there you go.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go straight around the island to make sure that everybody is filled.
Yeah.
We need to police Sea Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
We need to police Yamakura.
Mm-hmm.
We need to police Fort Montague area. We need to police PI. We need to police Life of Key. We need to police Old Fort Bay.
Mm-hmm.
We need to police Coral Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
We need to police Albany.
Mm-hmm. And
Did I
Adelaide.
miss anything?
Adelaide, yeah.
Adelaide, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Guns are coming into our country in droves.
Right. And the cars, they coming in cars too. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to address something in the room.
Mm.
The Bahamas does not manufacture.
Oh.
And it seems as if there are a lot of people involved who do not receive the repercussions
Thank
of
you.
their crime.
Thank you.
Whether it's Caucasian,
Mm-hmm.
Asian, blacks, people from the South,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be addressed, and the people need to rise up and address it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't, the parties, the people who are having the party all the time, they ain't addressing nothing.
No. They living behind some gate with some security protecting them and their family. In many instances.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, as you mentioned earlier, the reason why there's so much security companies is because everybody needs to feel some level of protection.
Right.
But only certain individuals could afford to pay
Yes.
Everybody else is open season.
Yes. Yes.
I had the privilege this week to work at a correction facility where I reside.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at the demographics, for some reason everybody look like my cousin outside of 2 or 3 people.
My Lord.
And these individuals told me, they said, well, Brother Smith, look, we were trained to do what it is that we did.
Trained.
So when we look at trained, we trained to cuss, we trained to thief, we trained to lie, we
Wow.
trained to kill, we trained to break down a pathway.
Really?
But they still can't do much.
Mm.
Yes. This came out of their mouths.
Wow.
So the same thing is taking place in our communities in the Bahamas.
Mm.
When we look at the history of these individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So forgive my caution. I think you understand why. It's so
Yes, I came in with the same passion, brother. I with you.
You know, we need to really govern ourselves accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Welsing,
Yes.
we spoke about her before.
Yes.
And many of those who came before us from a sociology standpoint
Mm-hmm.
discuss where we would be in today's society.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And continue.
Thank you for the call, and I appreciate you listening. Yes, indeed. We're going to run to a break here on Talking Heads. When we come back, I want to talk about the world's largest defense companies, where they're located, how much money they make. And then we are going to touch on Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's work with regard to guns and it's called the ISIS Papers, the key to the colors. All right, we're going to touch on that. Get back to the phone lines, get back to the text lines. Keep it locked here on Talking Heads. I am your host, Kahun Anku Sarah, also known as Dr. Cleveland W. Enes III. Keep it locked.
The show is going on, alright. The show goes on, when we dream so strong. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up.
KFC got that crispy onions crunch, take a bite, it's a smile. Sweet onion sauce drip, happy running down my side. Pepper jack cheese, bring a little playful wow. Brioche bun soft like a cloud on this ride. KFC, get chicky with it, hey. Taste the sweet side of things. Every single bite, so lit it. Got my whole crew doing that thing. Crispy onion, sweet onion sauce, pepper jack cheese, going on.
Introducing the new Sweet Chicky Chicken Sandwich at KFC.
Let's get chicky with it.
Make Mother's Day unforgettable with Kelly's House & Home's Mother's Day sale starting Friday, May 1st through Saturday, May 9th. Save 20% on a lovely selection of dinnerware, glassware, luggage, silk flowers, and picture frames, except on net items. We have beautiful gifts that let Mom know just how much she's appreciated. Shop early and enjoy 20% off at Kelly's House & Home during our Mother's Day sale May 1st through 9th. Happy Mother's Day with love from Kelly's House & Home.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more. There's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.
You're listening to Talking Heads only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Never slow my plans up. The show goes on till the morning. We dream so strong. Anybody ever wonder?
Welcome back to Talking Heads. No, this is not Naughty. This is not MJ. It's Kahun Anku Sarah, also known as Dr. Cleveland W. Enes III. Guns, 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 bullets, bullets, bullets. What we can do? The world's largest gun makers are divided into two distinct categories. Defense giants that dominate total revenue through high-cost systems like jets and missiles, and small arms specialists that produce the highest volume of individual firearms for military, police, and civilian use. The top small arms manufacturers by volume, as of April 2026, these companies are the leading producers of individual firearms. Sig Sauer, I think I'm saying that properly. Sig Sauer, one of the world's premier manufacturers, recognized for high volume production for both the civilian market and the elite military units. I have to find out where they're from. Sturm, Ruger, and Co. consistently ranks as the top producer of firearms for the U.S., manufacturing millions of units annually across various categories. Smith & Wesson, a leading global brand and the top producer of revolvers in the United States. Beretta, the world's oldest active firearm manufacturer and a top global seller, producing approximately 1,500 guns per day. Like today they made 1,500 guns. Glock dominates the global handgun market through extensive distribution and widespread use by law enforcement agencies. And then there's FN Herstal, a major Belgian producer of battle-proven weapons, including significant production of machine guns for international markets. Now, the world's largest defense companies, all right, Lockheed Martin, United States, $64.65 billion in arms revenue. RTX Corporation, United States, $43.6 billion in arms revenue. Northrop Grumman, United States, $37.85 billion in arms revenue. BAE Systems, the UK, $33.79 billion in arms revenue. And then General Dynamics, United States, $33.63 billion in arms revenue. Okay? The United States remains the dominant global supplier, accounting for 42% of all major arms exports in 2026. Other exporters include France, 9.8%, Russia, 6.8%, Germany, 5.7%, and China, 5%. All right? So the United States is way ahead. And this is why we're asking the great ambassador, Mr. Herschel Walker, we want to hear from you, man. We you know, these guns coming into our country and killing our young men. What can be done? Outside of penalizing black men, what can be done? Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hello?
How you doing? Thank you so much for calling.
Hi, yes, but, you know, the United States has the right to bear arms, but the problem is the people that actually have access to the guns. You saw the viral video going around with the Haitians smuggling guns. They're coming in from the south, man. That the illegal ones. But the United States should be supplying most of the guns because, first of all, they have the biggest army, and secondly, they have the right to bear arms.
So let me
said something. You mentioned something about gated communities. We're getting robbed by security in the gated communities now, so that's irrelevant because
it's not irrelevant because money is being spent. Let me say what I'm saying. The money is being spent to be in the gated community in the first place and to have the security in the first place. That's what we're saying. But go ahead.
Gated communities. Do you know that quietly we're being robbed behind gated communities by the securities and they're ignoring it?
Wow.
You know?
Why aren't y'all speaking up?
And we go to the police station. They don't do a statement, and they never ever follow up on it.
Wow.
That's the kind of country we live in. It's like Nigeria. All right.
Wow.
So, but I mean, the United States. I mean, the wrong people here have guns. That's the problem, and they're being smuggled through these same planes that are coming in from the south.
So that's definitely one of the areas that has to be policed. I wouldn't disagree with that. They're not being made in the South, that's for sure.
No, but they're smuggling them here because they know that certain, I guess, race like violence. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to share a conversation that I pray will allow for us to do more research and understanding how social engineering works. I appreciate your perspective, but there's more to it than just we are right. There are forces at work that want to eliminate black and brown people, and they use guns and bullets to do it. All right. This is not me saying it. This is the work of Dr. Francis Cresswell, who I'm going to share some information from as soon as you're done. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
No, I just when you say gated communities.
No, but I'm happy you brought that to the fore.
They're coming in like they're so good, and they hate to see successful black people in these gated communities. The blacks on black, you know, it's like
so y'all are having issues in the gated communities as well.
And I own like 3 different gated communities, and I can tell you the foreigners thinking you are actually the guest in the country, and then you're dealing with the security who hate you because you're successful.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
What a country, man. I can't wait to get out of here.
My Lord, I feel for
I
you.
live here, and I'm a citizen and trying to get out, you know?
Yeah, I feel for you.
Go to Europe somewhere.
Well, they got problems too, but I appreciate
Yeah, but it ain't as bad as it. I hate being a citizen in my country, and I'm as like a guessing because our Uncle Tom governments have these people on permanent residency for 50 years and things.
Wow. I appreciate you speaking up. I appreciate you speaking up. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, hey, if that's what's going on, y'all need to speak up because that's ridiculous. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, right, is someone who we should be familiar with in this country. Unfortunately, many of us are not. She had teachings regarding guns and black men, all right, rooted in her Cress theory of color confrontation, all right, which she detailed extensively in her 1991 book, The ISIS Papers. She argued that white supremacy is a global system driven by a subconscious white fear, so they don't necessarily consciously know it, a subconscious white fear of genetic annihilation. As white people are genetic recessives who could be, quote unquote, wiped out through interbreeding with dominant melanin. Why the black man? Because of the melanin. The gun is a phallic symbol. Welsing's analysis of firearms is heavily psychoanalytic, viewing the gun as a symbolic, quote unquote, equalizer for perceived genetic and biological inadequacy. So this race of melanin recessive people who cannot reproduce at the same rate as the melanated group created a gun to equalize. If you could have babies quicker than us, we can make sure you kill each other quicker than us. The symbolic compensation. She posited that because white men subconsciously fear the biological and sexual potency of black men, they adopted the gun as a symbolic phallus. The quote-unquote equalizer, Welsing argued that the gun allows those who feel genetically vulnerable to dominate and destroy those they perceive as a genetic threat. We just said who makes the most guns in the world, 42%. All right, United States. Placement and language. She noted that guns are often worn around the hip, near the genitals, and highlighted linguistic connections such as the term son of a gun or referring to a gun as a quote-unquote piece as evidence of the subconscious phallic association, right? So that this creates the target of the black male. Welsing believed black men are the primary targets of the system of white supremacy because they possess the greatest potential to annihilate white genes through reproduction. I wanted to put that into the conversation. You could check it out. Her name is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and the book is called The ISIS Papers, The Keys to the Colors. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Hi, sorry for that. I'm going to cut off earlier.
Yeah. I'm glad you called back.
I was playing devil's advocate because, I was trying to activate the melanin, man. He was getting too much in the lower, stuff. But no, I asked, what if it was a white person? And you got it.
Yeah.
It was a white person because guess what? When we take the bank lane shuffle right, and you know what? It's always two sides to the coin. It's the crying mother says, that's my baby boy. He ain't never hurt nobody. And then it's the angry public, the mob that say they need to hang him. But guess what? We are not targeting the spirit, what we are made of.
Thank you.
We are targeting the flesh, what was programmed to act a certain way during a certain time. Our emotions are the only thing that control us as melanated people. And we cannot hold ourselves accountable because deep down inside, we all want each other to thrive. We love each other. We don't want nobody to die. As black people, that's why we call each other brothers and sisters. But we have been programmed as such that when the flesh takes on the role of that lower self, and we start killing and murdering and the rap music and all the dressing and all that stuff, we look at the physical body and we forget the spiritual, because we have been taught also the wrong spiritual concept to solve the problem. And we are dealing with, we don't know that. Our spirituality was lost.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, as a Coptic priest, that even has been perverted down to the point where it will not strike home to the melanated person to say, I found my true self, I am enlightened. Because we cannot solve the problem because we don't have the problem. And I think it was one of your callers who regularly calls asked, what do we do? The only solution is the final war. There's nothing else we can do. Because as Africans and melanated people, we are docile. We are not prone to war. We are not like the Caucasoids. We all want to live in peace, as in the Garden of Eden. But the only way that we can escape from this adulterous, murderous world is to become an unnatural product, which they made us, to conquer the beast, and then we can build a utopia that we see in our minds. But no, it is the fault of the program. And again, condolences to your neighbor. And I hope that we can each one teach one and reach one.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. I'm glad you called back. The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 4, it tells us what we can do. It says, and I heard him saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. We got to come out of, meaning we got to build our own communities and get back to what actually made us great in the first place. And as long as we stay integrated in this mess, we can be a part of it. All right. One thing I wanted to throw out there before I go back to the phone lines, right, is how rap music has been weaponized to cause black men to kill each other, right? This theory that rap music has been weaponized to fuel violence among black men often combines sociological observations with psychological theories like those of Dr. Amos Wilson and, again, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Right? Critics and scholars who support this view point to several specific mechanisms. One, the industrial complex and profit motives. A primary argument is that the music industry, largely owned and managed by non-black executives, prioritizes and promotes drill and gangster rap over other subgenres because it is highly profitable. Commercializing trauma. Critics argue that by exclusively funding and promoting music that glorifies murder and opposition, the industry creates a financial incentive for young black men to live out violent personas to achieve success. There's the private prison theory, a long-standing, though often debated conspiracy through, as they say, conspiracy theory suggests that record in private prisons and deliberately promoted violent music to ensure a steady supply of inmates. That's not a conspiracy. That's actually a fact. All right. They actually are suing, jails are suing communities for not having enough inmates come into those prisons, right? We don't have time for that today, but that's something you can look up. All right. This text says Sig Sauer is originally a Swiss firearm company combined with a German partnership, but an American company with the same name imports and distributes these firearms into the USA. Thank you very much, Texter. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Call you live.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
All right. I don't think we're serious with this gun problem. We going around circles, running over and over. Every year, basically, over 300 odd illegal weapons get compensated in Nassau or whatever. Am I right?
Say it again.
Every year, they take well over 300 arms off the road.
That sounds fair.
Okay, now, you need to let these fellas know that you are serious. We are not serious. Like, what's his name? I think Jeff or one of them, they were saying, you need to put a step of penalty, okay, these fellas before the Supreme Court. The guys only go before the magistrate court, and the most the magistrate could do is give. But if you change the law, catch you with a gun, it could be 10 years. I think you'll see a drastic drop. No long talking, because most of these guys just get catch red-handed with the gun. And in their car, the gun on them. So.
But what about these? What about these? We had an American who had a cache of guns.
Yeah,
he was able to pay $1.4 million. So if you have the money, then it's okay.
But you see, these fellas ain't got no money. They get the gun to make money or to do food.
Right.
You see?
Right.
So the American, all right, let's say you give him a year in jail or whatever for that amount of gun. And I think that's a slap on the wrist. You know what is $1.4 million?
Yeah, I don't.
And that's a lot of money. So that's a slap on him. And I don't think you get more trouble. But I'm just saying with us here and our Bahamians, we are not serious in putting these guys. See, the guy say, man, if they catch me, I get a year in jail, or I get 18 months. I don't even spend 18 months.
Yeah.
The next couple months, they out.
Yeah.
Then they go right back doing the same thing.
I work in the inner city, so I talk to young men who tell me, listen, if I don't carry a firearm on me, I could be dead. I rather risk going to jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
They'll go to jail, but the jail time what they give them, don't wait it. What I mean, you be keeping around in cycle. I catch you with a gun, give you some years. You can't keep you in
that's why I focus
18 months or so.
I focus the conversation on who bringing the guns in. That's my.
No,
focus.
that's a good point too. How the guns getting in.
Yeah.
We don't say we have a lot of ports, and it's amazed me that all these guns we can't get the handle how these guns coming in here.
You don't want no, but I appreciate the call.
How they coming in? So you put the fear in the guys who get them to do evil, who get them to rob and maybe kill my family or do some foolishness.
These gun companies that making billions of dollars a year can funnel some of that money in the direction of countries that are unfortunately having the gun violence like we are in the Bahamas. They can put a couple $100 million towards programs to help us to stop these guns from coming in our country. They could do it.
Yeah, but Uncle, listen to me. The mind of these fellas is evil. They think, oh man, I could go.
But if we don't
and
ask,
get one.
if we don't ask, they'll say we didn't care. So they asking.
Yeah, well, I hear your point with that. You could get something out of it. But we got to put the fear in these guys who getting the gun, committing these crimes. Catch you with a gun 10 years. And our government been going around too long with this magistrate, far as the gun go with magistrate and things.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I do feel you, and I don't disagree with you. I just know it's more to it than that. Caller, you live on Talking Heads. Caller going once. All right. Call back if you need to. We out of time. We got about 5 minutes, but I know we got to wrap for news. This texter says, good afternoon. Did I understand the gated community caller to say that there's a quote-unquote race that loves violence? Is she serious? Tell her to look at the race makeup of the men in the room that is the cause of all the violence in the world, either through war or colonial inheritance. No race loves violence. Self-hate. Appreciate the text there. Appreciate all the texts. Appreciate all the calls. We got to run to the news. And, it's been great being here with you. Most High willing, I'll be with you back on Guardian Radio today, which airs at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I pray that you keep it locked here. 96.9 Guardian Radio, fresh news, smart talk all day again. I'm happy that Naughty and MJ allowed me to take the car for a spin around the block again. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Pastor Dr. Cleveland W. Eunice III, also known as Kahun Anku Sarah, the Mastu family.
The feeling that you was being had, don't that shit they laid. Put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be lying through they teeth, hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh. Put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats. Then get busy on they. See, that's how that Chi-Town made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go and put your hands up. You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361. The Whopper with cheese at Burger King Nassau has never tasted so good. It's made with 100% flame grilled beef that's juicier, topped with fresh and usual, and even fluffier buns. Get a regular Whopper with cheese combo for only $9, including VAT, and enjoy a Whopper that's bigger, better, and tastier. The only place to get your Whopper with cheese combo is at Burger King Nassau, where it's grill time anytime.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Craving something bold, fresh, and unforgettable? Tropical Gyros is your flavor-packed escape, a Carib-Greek fusion born right here in Nassau. From juicy grilled salmon, chicken, and pork gyros to loaded bowls, fresh salads, wings, and more, there's something for every craving. Find Tropical Gyros at any of their locations, JFK Plaza, Rosetta Street, Port Lucaya Freeport, or their franchise spots on Prince Charles Drive, Soldier Road West, Delaport, and Carmichael Road. Tropical Gyros, not just good food, it's an experience.